Pretty much all over social media, everybody is talking about Maui. I'm at the point where I just want for sometimes just not to think that anything nefarious is going on. Sometimes I just want a news story just to be a news story. But for God's sake, it doesn't even look that way. Like, not everything has to be a conspiracy, right? Because we all get called names for what we think, people who are freedom minded, but I don't really see any other alternative. I mean, these wildfires in Maui that have basically decimated that island in the town of Lahaina, it just reminds me of like the fires in Paradise, California, and other fires in Nevada where it looked like a war zone, okay? Where these fires managed to flip cars. Like, how do these fires flip the cars? They burn down the businesses, they burn down the homes, but the trees stay intact.
This is Maui, Hawaii today. They claim that this is a wildfire. But how can a wildfire burn houses and cars to the ground and leave trees and grasses behind? What we are actually witnessing is directed energy weapons in action. They show us this in plain sight, but people don't even realize this. They use a plane with an airborne laser. Here you can see the same situation in California in 2018.
It also reminds me of Lytton, and Edward Dowd happens to live in Hawaii, and I'm wondering if they try to burn down places when they don't like people. You don't like Dr. Charles Hoff, you're going to burn down the town. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but the optics really don't look good. And how are we supposed to understand how this fire started? Like, please don't tell me cigarette butts. I don't want to hear that anymore. That's not possible. It's not feasible. Arson, even, I mean, it's some sort of arson. I don't even want to say DEW, but because people think you're crazy, but what else could it be? And so my old employer sent a reporter there. So I watched a couple of reports, and they're just the same generic vanilla reports. She's on the boat and going, oh, local volunteers are trying to get supplies over to people, getting baby formula, getting water. Yeah, that is the story that's happening there, because the locals are actually helping one another, much like what happened here in BC when we had those Abbotsford floods and the flooding everywhere. I see the people mobilizing. I don't see the government helping. If they are, I just don't see them. I don't see the Red Cross. I don't see FEMA. I see like authorities kind of blocking people from helping other people or getting supplies. Oh, so there's a shuttle bus taking you to Maui so you can do your shopping. Whoopie ding dong, right? Like, people need supplies now. So in this story, when my old employer Global sent a reporter there, she still said in the report, the authorities have not determined how the fire has started. How have you not determined how the damn fire has started? And to my knowledge, I think it takes like a day and a half to determine how a house fire starts. You've had several days now. Why do people have no speculation or no hypothesis or no sort of answers onto how the damn thing started that would cause an inferno the way that it caused, where people had to jump into the ocean to save their lives? And there was no emergency warning. There was no warning going off in the city, like no emergency alert system or anything going off. And people had children, older people were running for their lives. It's disgusting. And they want you to think maybe that this is because of climate change. Climate change? I don't actually think this is climate change. I think this is climate terrorism. It's what it looks like. If I'm wrong, show me some evidence that I'm wrong. So I don't know. I came across this article by Sasha Latypova. I think she's super smart, but she did this impromptu article. There is some word that the government of Hawaii states goals for rebuild is to make the entire island of Maui the first smart island. Okay, some people might already know this. This might be old news to people, but to me, this was new. They want the entire island governed by AI, as outlined in the Hawaii Digital Government Summit of 2023. Hitachi, remember Hitachi? I had a Hitachi TV growing up in my house, but anyway, it's a Japanese electronics company. Hitachi recently announced that it had begun operations on the demonstration site for the Japan-US Island Grid project, which is commonly referred to as Jumpstart Maui. So I looked this up. Okay, so what's Jumpstart Maui?
No matter where you go around the world, reducing our impact on the environment and decreasing our dependence on fossil fuels is on everyone's mind.
Oh,
But how
whatever.
do you do it in a way that's going to benefit the most people? That was the
What does it
question
do?
Hitachi asked before initiating the Jump Smart Maui project. This initiative demonstrates how electric vehicles, smart grids, and renewable energy like wind and sun can benefit Maui's residents, and it underlines the positive impact that Hitachi is making on the environment.
It's our future.
Sure, whether you like it or not, it's your future. That wasn't creepy at the end, was it? But and that's old. That's from 2014. And also, just on a side note, some celebrities did lose their homes. I know that Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac lost his restaurant on like the main part of town on Front Street or whatever. But Oprah didn't lose her home because it's higher up in the hills. And I think Mark Zuckerberg owns a lot of property there, and I think his property was okay. But I mean, you can poo-poo all this, we can poo-poo, and some people haven't even heard about 15-minute cities, never mind a smart island. So I just thought I'd put that out there. Are they trying to turn Maui into a smart island? You know, who wants to buy that property? And that property is that belongs to the people. A lot of that belongs to the native people there. There is a contract last year that was signed to build high-rise condos and businesses in Lahaina, which is an historical town that can't have any new development done to it. But now it can. If you burn it down, you can, by definition, the government can create new development because it has to. And what's it gonna look like? I mean, that is prime, bloody, oceanfront real estate that the people don't want to sell. So how do you get it? If you want it, you just take it. Last January of 2023, there was a smart city conference in Maui to turn Maui into an entire smart city island, pushing everything electric and making 15-minute smart cities. Okay, I'm not trying to sound conspiratorial. I'm not trying to sound like a crazy person, but we need to know how it started, and we need to not rule out probably climate terrorism.
89 people have now been confirmed dead. The blaze, the deadliest in the
I think it's more
US
than
in
that
more than
now.
a century. The full scale of the devastation is also becoming clear as residents of Lahaina return home. There's also growing anger among survivors about why there were no alerts at all from authorities.
No sirens went off, nothing. There was fight or flight with no warning whatsoever.
It's like we're the only things we have now because everything that we had in the past is gone.
The news isn't really diving in deep and investigating. I mean, they're there on the ground. They should be investigating and talking. It can't just be like, oh, authorities don't know. Like, it's not good enough anymore. That's just not going to cut it. But I just thought I'd leave you with that. Just another warning about this whole smart idea. It's actually dumb. And just on another note, I want to say, please check out my website if you can, anitakrishna.com. And if you want to consider making a small contribution to the work that I do, that'd be great. You can go to anitakrishna.com to sort of find out how you can do that. And I appreciate any feedback. There's also an email, hello@anitakrishna.com. If you want to send me an email, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. And our thoughts and prayers, my gosh, are with the people of Maui. And that is rough as heck. We're thinking about you.